Maybe this day is not one of your favorites, but never forget that every day you wake up is an amazing gift, and it's up to you to make it count, and that is Monday.
Hello, this is Neha and you're watching my channel Harnam Edu Zone. So today most probably we will be trying to end up the English, basic part of English, and I hope so right after completing this we will directly jump into the syllabus of the examination. What is the syllabus of English asked in the banking examination? I hope see few of the notification are expected to be released in the month of June, that is in this month, maybe most probably by the last week or by third week or the fourth week of this month. There is an expectation of few notifications of banking examinations. I will be keep notifying you also. I'll be keeping updating to you also those things, and for that let's just wind up with the basic things of English today, and then from the next class we will study English but only in the perspective of the examination. So let's move on. You all know that we're going to see today is about I want to discuss a few confusing words of English. Usually people will be get confused with those words. That is very important for us to know the confusing words of English, and apart from that we will be learning conjunction, preposition and interjection and articles and wind up it. So I hope you people are seeing the screen on your displays. That is confusing words in English. As I said, we will learn about a few confusing words in English. I hope many people out there will be always getting confused with these words. I hope after this video you people will not be that confused. So see, this is not at all this is not only for examination in the perspective of examinations, but then this is very much necessary for you to be known with a good hold of English, what should be used at what point of time. So it is very necessary. So regard to that, let's start with this. See, the first type of words that I chose, most probably, people will be feeling confused in this. So, those words are late, latter, latest, and last. So, these are the four words people usually get confused with this. So, let me just make you clear that later and latest refer in terms of time. Okay? Shall I call you later? So that means that you are saying in term of time perspective. You are saying that you will call after some time. So that is the main motive of the word later. So the latest in the sense what it had been recently it had been released. Hey, that is the latest version, right? So it is in the it is in the run right now, and it is ongoing thing. So we say it is a latest design, it is a latest version. So that is that refers to the time. So that is the thing. Whenever you use later and latest, please do remember that you are using in the perspective of time, whenever you want to explain things in terms of time only. So the next things are latter and last refers to position. Okay, so whenever you use last, see, I was in the last in the queue. So that means that you were standing in the last in the queue, right? So here latter. So latter and last refers to the position. You all know that whenever you use last, dude, I was just sitting at the last of the bench. I was sitting in the last bench of the class. So you prefer your position. And latter is something, when you compare with the two things, you are comparing between the two things. The first thing is known to be former and the second thing is known to be latter. Is it or not? So that's how you used to prefer your position. Okay, so the second type of words which you get usually confused may be elder and eldest. I hope so. So I thought of choosing these words to explain elder and eldest. See, always use elder and eldest for blood relationships only. If someone is your blood relative and he or she is elder or eldest to you, then you only use to them. It's not like you're using for everyone out there. You can't use these words elder or eldest to explain the age of them. It should only be used for your blood relatives. And older, oldest can be used to any person or thing, not only for blood relatives. If you want to explain the age of a person or a thing, you can use these words, that is old, older, oldest. So have a look on it. Now this father and further are the two words usually people get confused. So I thought of clearing it. Father is something, geographical distance. It is huge distance, geographical distance from north to south. That kind of distance is explained by the word farther. So further in the sense beside. You can just move further, that means just beside. So those are the further you use for the shortest distances, and farther you used for the geographical distances, very huge distances. Alright. So the fourth type of words, I hope so you people will be get confusing, that is nearest or next. When you say nearest, then it shows the distance, okay, a huge distance. When you say next, it shows a position, only a position. Okay, so nearest and next. So he was sitting next to me. I won't say he was sitting nearest to me. No, I say he was sitting next to me. And I don't say that his home is next to me. I say his home is nearest to me. So the distance between the two houses. So that is very much clear. Never use nearest for the positions and never use next for the distances. So nearest and next. Next is always used for the shorter distances and nearest is used for the next is used for the shortest positions, shows the positions, and nearest shows the distances. After completing this, we will be moving on to the conjunctions. The conjunctions and type of conjunctions. See, almost you people will be knowing conjunctions such as and, or, but. These kind of conjunctions are further classified. They are further classified into number of types. So the first type of conjunction, see, usually we all know what is conjunction. Conjunction is a word which helps to connect two clauses or connect two phrases. Okay, phrases and clauses connecting words are known to be conjunctions. So here conjunctions are further divided. Conjunction is known to be divided into coordinating conjunctions and subordinating conjunction, as well as correlative conjunctions. What and all are called as coordinating conjunctions? Coordinating conjunctions are such like but, and, or, so, nor, et, for. So these are the conjunctions, coordinating conjunctions always used to join two words together, join two phrases together, join two clauses together. A phrase and a phrase is, joined with the help of coordinating conjunction. A word and a word is joined with the coordinating conjunction, as well as a clause and a clause is joined with the coordinating conjunction. Whereas subordinating conjunction joins a dependent to the independent clause. We had saw what is independent clause and dependent clause in the previous videos. You can just check it out there. And regarding that, if you wanted to join one dependent clause to the other independent clause, then you are using what kind of conjunctions? Those are subordinating conjunctions. So what are the kind of subordinating conjunctions which are helped to join the dependent clause to the independent clause are although, because, before, if, how, since, once, till, until, where, when, whenever, whether, after, while, no matter, as soon as, even if. So these are the words which are known to be subordinating conjunctions. The last one is known to be correlative conjunctions, which are used to relate with the one sentence and the other sentence with the one clause and the other clause in the sentences. Correlative sentences are helping to relate one clause to the other clause in the sentence. What are the correlative conjunctions? Such as either or, neither nor, both and, not only but also, he may buy either a laptop or a camera. So such kind of sentences where you are using correlative conjunctions are seen. So moving on further with the thing is that preposition. So preposition, these preposition are used when you want to relate a location, time or a place to a noun with a pronoun. You want to relate time, you want to relate location, and you want to relate a place with a noun or a pronoun. Then such kind of words which are used to relate are known as preposition. You want to relate your noun to some place, you want to relate your pronoun to some time or some place or some location, then you are using some word. When you are using some word, such kind of word is known to be preposition. And it's very simple. There are simple prepositions, double prepositions and compound prepositions, 3 types of prepositions. So simple prepositions is very simple, that you use at, for, in, on, off, over and under. See, my pen is lying under the table, so I want to relate my pen's position with regarding to the table. So that is a location, right? So I use a preposition called as under. My pen is lying under the table. So such kind of simple prepositions are seen. Double prepositions are when you wanted to compare with the two things. So into, within, up to. So those are called as double prepositions. See, why it is called as double prepositions? Why? Because you are using two words together. In and to, into, with and in, within, up and to, up to. So two prepositions are together used to relate some location, time or place with regarding to pronoun and noun. So hence it is called as double preposition. Into, within, up to are called as double prepositions. Compound preposition. See, we will be seeing this further whenever we are solving the questions further. So you just have a grasp of it, and you just feed this in your mind for a while, and then we will be repeating this again and again when we actually solve the paper, actually solve the syllabus of English asked in the banking examination. So the last type is compound preposition. It's little complex ones. Whenever you want to relate in a complex way with the location, time or place with regarding noun or pronoun, then such prepositions are such a way here. On behalf of, according to, in front of, from across. So these are the compound prepositions. I am saying that I'm just standing in front of your house. So in front of your house. So I'm relating to the location of mine regarding to the house. So that is called as in front of. So those are called as compound prepositions. More than one type of words are used in the preposition. See, on behalf of. On is there, behalf is there, and of is also there. So 3 words together form one preposition. Hence it is called as compound preposition. And and those are only used to explain the location, time or place regarding with your noun and pronoun. The last type of parts of speech in English is known to be interjection. It's very easy. Interjections, they include the words or feelings that you add in your sentences. You wanted to show your emotion in the sentences by using few words, and that words are known to be interjection. Alas, alright, blah, gi, na, oops, few, oops, yaks. Of course, there are many more fun words to learn to express emotion. See, if I say that if I get hurt with my knee to some sort of, a table or chair, I say, I got hurt. So that's a feel how much I have got hurt, my emotion in the sentences. So if you want to put emotion in your sentences and show it in the sentences by using few words, and that words are known to be interjection. So that is there. And apart from this, I wanted to explain, see, the type of articles. There are two type of articles, that is indefinite article and definite article. When you are very definite about the thing and you want to specifically say, see, we say the principal, the university, we are explaining in a definite way. So the article which we use there is the. And a and an are the articles where we say for the indefinite things, and you are very much known that whenever you use the vowels a, e, I, o, u, it's very necessary that before those words, whenever any word is starting with the vowels a, e, I, o, u, you should place an before it. So that is very much understandable. So these are the articles types, and it see, rules are nothing. Just it's very simple. We will be seeing further in the practical thing. So